Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and this is literally the very first video I'm shooting speaking in front of camera. I'm very shy. Normally I am almost camera phobic, and this is why I didn't have my YouTube channel until now, but of course with the encouragement and support of dear Amir, I'm finally pushing myself. And thank you very much. Çok teşekkürler for all your support. And this is also why I decided to make a Q&A with you, and I will answer the questions you sent to me. Thank you for all the questions. I think it was very good questions to start with, and it gives me a chance also to tell a little bit about myself in this way. Sorry if tonight I'm mumbling and if I'm shy and awkward in front of camera, because yeah, I am really freshman here, and I also still don't have a selfie stick or anything to actually stabilize my camera. So maybe at some point I will be tired and I will just put it like this. I don't know. I don't have the best angles or best light yet, but I didn't want to wait and make you wait, so things will improve in time. Right now I'm in my couch laying. This is my living room, and maybe in this video at some point you will also see my cats because they are always coming around. Coming to your questions, there were many questions. I actually decided to categorize them. Some of them were personal questions, like get to know me questions, and some of them were, of course, was about Amir Tatolu. I will answer them in another video, so there will be 2 parts. And there was one special question. I left it out for a special video, which is to answer if I'm a vegan. I will explain why I wanted to make a separate video about this. It's a very important topic for me, and yeah, that will be in another video for you guys who are curious. This one will be about personal questions, so you can get to know me, and I wrote down the questions, all the questions you wrote, and I will go one by one with them. Thank you very much for all these good questions. What factors made you play the violoncello? What are your goals in this field? Okay, usually the instrument I'm playing is called violoncello in Italian, and also universally accepted, so it's also called in English like this. In Turkish it's violoncel. I think in Farsi it's violon. I'm not sure 100%. And also universally accepted as cello, which is the short version of this name, violoncello. And today I think it's more popular known as the cello in English international speaking, and this is why I'm going to call it cello anytime I'm speaking about my instrument, this big violin you are seeing. So just to clear things up. Okay. Well, my parents are musicians. So my father and mother both teaches music. My mother teaches in regular school music lessons. It was, I think, from elementary school until high school she taught music lessons. And my father, he was teaching, they are both retired. He was teaching in a music school, so this was more professional. He's an academic, and he's also a composer. He plays piano and guitar very well. He played cello himself when he was young. So it's a lot of music going on in the house, and my sister is a violin player. So I heard a lot of music as a kid, and I'm very lucky with this. However, actually my parents did not want me to become a musician. My mother, yes, but my father was very concerned with the situation in my country, in Turkey, regarding classical music quality and education level, and Generally speaking, the knowledge about classical music, which was what I was interested in. So he thought it was a bad career for me, doomed for failure, and expensive and difficult to get the right kind of training also. It was very hard to make a career on this. Therefore, he said, no, you cannot go to the conservatory. However, I was little younger than 9 years old. I was 8.5 to be very exact. And I already played the piano since I was 4 years old in the house, nothing professionally, but in a quite good level. And I had perfect hearing and very good ear. My ears were very well trained, of course, with having musician parents and a sister playing violin. So I was very stubborn, and I insisted that I wanted to go to the exams and play the cello and make this my career. And with this kind of department, you have to choose very early. For example, you can decide to be a doctor after high school when you are applying for your university. Of course, you need to know sort of already if you're good at math or social science, whatever. But with cello, you need to be very early. You need to know already when you are 6 or 7 which you want, and this is hard for a little kid, of course. So usually this is actually with the direction of the parents. Usually kids involved in music at this age. With me, it was a little bit strange because even though my dad did not want me to make music professionally, I wanted this as my career because I saw my family making music and I was very into it. And this is why, strangely, already before 9 years old, I decided to choose my path on music making. Yeah. So, what are my goals in this field? I'm actually living my goals in this field more or less already for 10 years. I am a freelancer cello player and a teacher, and I like both very much. They are very much the center of my life, to teach, to play the cello, and also be on stage with cello. However, I had one goal that I had to put aside since I moved to Istanbul, which is 2 years ago. Normally, I'm very much interested in chamber music, and I used to have a quartet, several quartets, and trio and a duo. So, classical chamber music was my main interest. I don't know if these terms are new for most of my viewers, so just to explain a little bit, this is 2, 3, or 4 people playing together a classical piece, in my case usually written for string instruments like violin, cello, and sometimes piano. This was my favorite kind of group to play together, and in Istanbul this is pretty hard, and I did not have the right kind of people to get together with, so I put this idea aside. But until moving here in the last 10 years, I have done a lot of this. So I already have quite a lot of experience and expertise in that also. It's right now more focused on stage, and I have a band also called Noland, together with international people who live in Istanbul. And since the last 2 months, I'm also playing, having a chance to be with Amir Tatulu and his band, of course, which is fantastic. And my future goals, of course, to continue with this, first of all, and be better and better on stage, and also be a well-known and good teacher and help other young cello players as a teacher, as a mentor, and be more universal. So this question, I thought it was very interesting. If I'm not a cellist, what would I do? I think I would go for psychology department, behavioral biology, psychology, neurology. These are very interesting fields for me. I really like nature. I like nature so much, and I like human nature and animal nature and our instincts and our biology and our psychology also. So actually, I'm not sure if I would be more interested to be behavioral biology researcher or a therapist, or maybe somehow both. I don't know if it's possible. But these are the fields I'm reading the most about outside of my major subject, which is music. Well, also, another job I could do is to help rescue animals. For example, work in shelters or special wild animal shelters where you make them adapt back to the nature, etc. So something to do with helping animals um, who were in trouble before, or in gone through some trauma, or maybe captivated, and things like that. Especially human give also a lot of harm to animals, unfortunately, and I would like to help those who suffered because of people. So I'm already tired trying to hold this camera. In the other videos, I hope I will have the selfie stick, so I will have better conditions to shoot this. Next question. What is the hardest part of being a musician like you? Well, this is a big question. I don't know. It can take a whole video just to answer this. I guess one of the difficulties is the uncertainty of your schedule and your income and your time management. It's uncertain. For example, what kind of concerts I have, what kind of gigs and work I have in the coming 4 months. I know, for example, my next week, more or less. I know some things about this month. I know a few concerts planned in the 3 months, but for example, I don't know, I have no idea what I have after 4 months. Usually things get shaped within a month or two in my case, and most of the freelancer musicians in my field. So we don't know really tomorrow. Therefore, we don't really have a stable income. For example, I have private students, and I'm also teaching in a college. The most stable job I can say I'm doing is teaching at this college just once a week, one day. This is throughout both of the school semesters. However, yes, I have private lessons, but the thing with private lessons, of course, they can quit, new one can start, something can change, so it's not very stable. And with the concerts and the gigs, concerts can be cancelled, They are usually planned in a month or two advanced, in not really like a year ahead. So it's even difficult sometimes to plan a holiday because I don't know what I'm doing in 2 months. And I also don't have summer breaks because in summers we have more performances, and usually summer is the time I'm working the most. Weekends are the time I'm working. So I don't really have days on, days off in a fixed schedule. Sometimes I'm free on a Tuesday, sometimes I'm free half of a Wednesday and some part of a Friday. Sometimes I don't have anything at all, 3 days in a row. But it's hard to make plans about yourself in advance. So I need to be very organized and spontaneous at the same time. So as soon as I was like sitting like this, I lost my seat to Billy here. You can see. So now I cannot go back. I have to be like this. If you want to make people happy, what will you do? This was interesting question also. I think one thing people really need and like to receive is to be heard, and if I wanna give comfort to someone, make them happy, I will listen them. I will not interrupt them. I will not immediately claim I understand everything they say. Even before they say it, I will really listen them without judgment, really hear what they have to say, and maybe ask some questions in relationship to what they are saying. You know, I cannot claim to bring happiness, but this is, I think, in a way also my special power. So I will also play cello for them. This is big happiness also for me sometimes to see when I play cello for people that they are very happy, and we experience a sort of magical moment together. So I will also play cello for them because this is my skill, and this is what I can do with love, and I can share this love of my cello with others just by playing it. So yeah, I think these two things are the most important ones I can do, that I will listen to them, I will hear what they have to say, what they want to share, and I will also play cello for them. If I have advice for people who want to be a musician in the future, if we are speaking of young people, I will advise them to seek very, very good teachers. A teacher, it's not, I don't mean just a teacher you go to the school or you pay for a class, but also who you listen to from YouTube, and who you pick yourself as a mentor, and also pick yourself very good friends who are interested also in smart activities and in art. If you have people who have around you who have no interest in art and in intellectual matters, sort of shallow day-to-day gossip and chat and which restaurant we went today, sort of thing. You cannot be a good musician. You cannot be a good artist. I'm sorry to say. It's very important that you surround yourself with people who are interested in creating art. It can be different field of art, but it should be something inspiring. And I recommend you to, of course, read about other artists and musicians. Read their biography, watch about documentaries about their life and what they have done. This is really inspiring. It can be literature, it can be sculpture, painting, music, any department, graffiti, tattoo, everything which you know, dedicate yourself in a form of art can feed your musical success. The other one is never rely on just talent, really practice. You need to have multiple factors present to be good, and if you don't see these all coming together, it can be quite a painful journey actually. You need to have discipline, talent, love, and dedication. And if you know things are difficult in your path, you should not give up. You should always have your inner strength from love of music and love of art rather than desire for fame or, you know, ambition and things like this. I think a true musician doesn't even care about fame. Yes, they deserve to be famous at the end, and we as musicians wanna be famous because we want our work to be seen by others, but this is not really the purpose. This is an outcome, and the main purpose is to be good at your craft, good at your art. So this is my advice, to focus on making your art very good and finding yourself good surrounding and good inspiration. And now I'm gonna just say one last thing. If you don't have the good environment, for example, you have no friends who are artists, you still have your mobile phone, you still have tons of books, YouTube, Google, documentaries, other musicians, other artists. Follow them, watch their work, watch their lifestyle, read about them. Surround yourself with this, and don't waste your time at cafes and leisure time. Yes, of course, live your life also at the same time, but don't spend your days with shallow matters. This is very important. I don't know how to answer this question. If your life returns back, would you also want to be this Ege? Who knows? I don't know. There are so many things I want to improve about myself, and I definitely have made many mistakes, and I have also had many regrets about my decisions or choices and how I spent my time in the past, etc. However, I also believe I learned a lot of lessons and improved as a human and as a musician in relationship to these experiences. So if I would change these things, I don't know. I don't think so. However, of course, it would be a lie if I say, if I ever thought of you know, being born somewhere else and having accessibilities, maybe more money to start with, better teachers, or, you know, better educational environment. If I dreamt of these things, yes, of course I did. Sometimes I thought I would be much more well-known cello player all around the world if I was in the higher quality conservatory when I was 10 years old, and if I had the right kind of environment to become a child prodigy. I think I had the personal material for this, but I didn't have the right environment for it. That's what I thought. But who knows? And after all, I can say, even though there are hardships, I'm happy with my life and my musical environment I chose for myself. I think the most important reason why I am content, because I choose to play cello myself. Nobody told me, and I live in this city because I chose this city. I'm not in my hometown, and I also did not stay in another country. Well, I had to come back from Europe. Maybe this is topic for another video. But Istanbul was my choice in these last 2 years to move, and playing cello was my choice. I chose my house where I live right now, and this is why when things are difficult, I'm happy still, because I think when others make decisions for you, for example, my father wanted me to play the piano, and if I was a pianist today, with the push of my father, I think all these difficulties in life, maybe they would be the same, but I would want to change my life. But because I chose cello and I went for my own dream, when things are difficult, I still want to live my life because this is my decision. What is my favorite movies or series? Okay. For the series, it's a American series, actually quite old. I think it's around 2000. This was on TV, and it's still possible to watch it online. Wonderful series about police, juridical system, and crime, and backstreet lifestyle of the States. It's called The Wire. First episodes were a little bit difficult to adapt, especially with the heavy English accents. It was also hard for me to understand, actually, but it's a fantastic series. It's my very, very favorite series. It's very true. It shows the reality of this world, not just for the States, but for the whole world, and it's a very dark also. It's a very dark one, but it's a good one. There are no superheroes in this series. It's very realistic. It shows the system, actually. So it's a very important series also to watch, to know and understand this system we live in, the governmental system, police system, juridical system. I think it has 5 seasons, and I was extremely sad when I finished it. I watched it again, and I can watch it 10 times more. This is a serious one. Another series I really like, which is really different style, is the Sex and the City. It might be surprising, but actually some people don't know. They think it's just, you know, for women spending money and having fun in the city. It's not like that. It's also a very big critic about personality types of this modern world, and 4 archetypes of women in that world, which I think is important for city women to watch, as a not as a role model, as a critic, because it's actually a critic. It doesn't appear so. It looks like, oh, we have fabulous life, but it is actually a critic for these 4 kinds of women, and it shows all the problems and weakness of these personality types. So it's very good to take lessons from this series, even though it looks like a comedy and it looks like, you know, just silly topics. It's not just that. As a young girl, I have seen many mistakes in this series that I decided to not to make myself. So I think it was good for me. Movies, I cannot think of one except it's a children's movie. It's called The Fox and the Child, I think, in English. In Turkish, it's Arkadaşım Tilki. And in French, I don't know how to pronounce, so I'm not gonna dare, but it's actually a French movie, and it looks like a documentary. It's about a fox and a little kid, and this little kid is trying to domesticate a fox, a wild fox, and she is very determined to become friends with this fox, and she makes some mistakes on the way trying to be friends with this fox, with her. I was very touched by this movie, and the scenes are beautiful. All the scenes, cinematography with animals are extremely well captured, so it was wonderful. And of course, I love The Lord of the Rings. This is my favorite book and movies. We have a heavy question. What is my opinion about God, and if I believe in anything at all? I will tell this to start with. I don't like to call myself anything like a believer or believer, theist, deist, atheist. I don't like these names. I don't like to categorize myself in this kind of things. I have some opinions, semi-religious, semi-political reasons not to choose a religion. I don't choose any specific religion. This is something I can say. For example, where I'm born and grown up is 99% Muslim, Sunni to be more percent, and I don't want to belong to a category just because I'm born here. and I have huge interest in this topic since I'm very small. And also as a teenager I tried to read all three of the books, and I also had a lot of interest in Buddha and Buddhist ideology and Asian philosophy, so Chinese philosophy, and as a research, not to pick one, but to understand this religion, the different kind of religions. And I somehow it's my feeling, it's not to address anybody else, but if I categorize myself, I more feel like if it's a football team, for example, like if I am holding Real Madrid or Barcelona or Galatasaray or Fenerbahce. So I don't want it to become like this, or anything I say to hurt anybody, and with different opinion, of course. And my personal position is a mixture of unknown, respect to the unknown, and some things we can feel, of course, and some things are beyond our comprehension, I guess this is the word, beyond our understanding. And I have respect for the things that I cannot understand. So I don't claim I know. I have feelings about these matters, and I have always felt a purpose and inner connection to my existence. Also, I have big respect for my life because I know that I was not in control of my coming to this earth. Therefore, I also don't give myself the control to come out of this world, for example. And I don't claim to give answers for why we are here and how we came here or where we are going. So lastly, what I'm gonna say about religions and religious characters, I think each of these characters have important message for us to listen and try to understand and apply in our life to make ourselves better on this earth. Lessons of Buddha, lessons from Muhammad or from Jesus or from Moses are respected for me as much as stories about Adam and Eve, Adam and Hawa, or other characters who were in the holy books, or outside of these three single god religion, Greek mythology or multiple god other religions from the past actually share most of these common characters and stories. And I think these stories are historical memory and historical knowledge of humanity, and they are very important for us, not really just if I believe this or that. It's more than that. It's lessons from history, from the past, from other humans to us, to not repeat mistakes and understand and also remember history. So more or less this is my idea. So many questions. I don't know if this will be all just in one part or two. I will see in editing, I guess. Would you like to be born in another country or not? I wish I said no, but to be frank, I dreamt of being born somewhere else, somewhere safe and more free and with better economy and a bit better social system throughout my life. And I still think of this sometimes, although I'm not planning to move out anywhere. I sometimes feel envious for privileges of other countries, but on the other hand, I'm also very well aware that I'm extremely lucky in comparison to countries which have much worse conditions for just basic survival matters. So I guess with my country, the situation is somewhere in the middle. We are not in the worst condition, and we are also not in the best condition. And economically, we struggle a lot. Politically, we have difficulties, and culturally, we have conflict. So it's not like all happy hippie together sort of situation. And I lived in Holland for approximately 6 years, and I can compare huge difference. People don't have security or livelihood fears or economic fears in Holland like in Turkey. I'm sure people who live in Middle East understand me better when I'm saying this. Yeah, so yes, I have been thinking of wishing to be born somewhere else, but I also have seen people who were born in better places, and I felt something was missing in them, like their perspective were somehow shallow. And at some point I even thought maybe it's because of the privilege they had. They didn't need to sharpen their thinking. I know this sounds bad. I'm sorry for the ones who are beyond this category. I'm speaking of just a few people. It's not about everyone being born in a certain place. So I don't know. There are things who made me me, of course, just by being born here. Yeah. What I think about true love. Does it exist? Are all relations based on abusing each other and their expiration date will soon expire? Okay, I find this question pretty dark. I think that love itself is a very, very beautiful word to express something that has nothing to do with abuse. And I think if these two words come together, it means one of them is not true. So for example, if there is abuse underneath, I think then it's not truly love. And I think it exists, and it's not about possession, or it's not even about being with that person. It can be friendly love, it can be family love, and it can be romantic love. It can be feminine kind of love, or it can be masculine kind of love. And each of these have good versions and poor versions. Of course, it can be a mother who has a bad persona and it's not actualized itself and doesn't give proper love. doesn't feel proper love, maybe feels jealousy instead of love. Or maybe it's a father who feels more controlling and doesn't show enough love. Maybe it's a lover, a romantic partner, more about jealousy, or friend about jealousy rather than envy, rather than true friendly love. Yeah, of course this is possible, but it definitely exists in the right form also. And I think it's also not as stable, so it's a moment, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's less apparent. Sometimes other things are heavier, and sometimes love is shining more, sometimes less. There is a beautiful book by oh wow, I just have absent memory now. Erich Fromm, Art of Love. I recommend everybody to read who did not already. I believe in love in everything. I believe you should love your food, what you eat. You should love your object, possessions, your laptop, your couch. You should not treat it like something you can abuse, use badly. You should clean them well. You should treat them with respect and love and kindness. Your tools, your house, people around you, nature around you, animals around you. So yes, I think love is everywhere if you decide. And I think love is a decision rather than impulse. I think, yes, there are many impulses we have, and love is also like, this amorous love we feel. But also it is a decision to love in the right way. For this, you need to think well, and you need to put a lot of effort. You can love, but you can love poorly. So what makes your love high quality is the effort and intention you put into, and your decisions. So in that case, it doesn't have expiration date. It has growth. So guys, I am tired. I think this is a good time to call for the end of part 1. Other questions will be in relationship to my band and playing together with Amir Tatlu, and the things you are more curious in relationship to him and my joining to the band, etc. Somebody also asked about my tattoos, and I will also answer this maybe in that part 2 or as a separate video. I don't know yet. So far so good. Thank you very much for all these beautiful questions. It gave me a chance to tell a little bit about myself, and I'm waiting for more questions. If you have, please comment below on this video so we can collect new questions here in the under this video. Say hello to my beautiful girl. This is Ella. Ella is 2.5 years old. Wonderful girl. She is so kind, so pretty, so smart. I love her so much. And as you can see, she came to say hi, and she wants a little bit of attention right now. I think she wants to come on the couch to sit with me. I will give her proper attention after turning off this video. Say bye. Okay, bye bye.